Hello, this is DJ Stone. I have some special guests that are here. We have Sunday Ave. You guys want to say hi?
Hello, DJ Stone.
What's going on?
Hi. You guys can call me Ryan if you do address me. They don't. The people listening don't care. But how are you guys?
We're doing really
quite
well. It's very cold out.
I know.
But we're like super happy to be here.
I'm super excited that you guys are here. I'm so excited. It's like I was just telling them, I was like, it's like talking to celebrities because they're my number one listened to artist on Spotify right now.
We are honored.
You guys are awesome. So yeah, I got some questions. If y'all don't mind answering some questions.
Ask away.
Okay. So, well, first things first, what are your names?
I am Warren Olson.
My name is Aiden Landry.
Okay, what instruments do you guys play in the band?
I sing. I play guitar.
I play the drums, I also sing, and I do production.
Awesome. Okay, a question that was pitched by Colin and DJ Blue, who are sitting out there, is why the name Sunday Ave? What's the significance behind the name of your band? They wanted to know, and I wanted to know.
It's really deep, guys.
The absolute truth is band name generator.
Really?
When we were 11 or 12, we were trying to come up with a name, and the only thing we could think of was to look up a band name generator and randomly generate names.
Okay.
And I think it landed on like Saturday Ave.
Yeah.
But something in one of us just said Sunday Ave is the way to go.
So you guys have been a band for a long time?
Yeah.
Going on 7.5 years, something like that, yeah.
That's crazy. I didn't know you guys were together that long. I'm a new Sunday Ave fan. Chris introduced me to you guys, and I am like... we went and saw you at the Unitary, and after that, I was like, I'm in. This is it. These guys are my new favorite band.
That's awesome.
You guys are awesome. That's very interesting. My brother and I used to do that. We're like, yeah, we're going to create a band because we've been music kids forever. And then we go to like a name generator and then never do anything with it because it was just the two of us. But that's very interesting.
And I would say like since then, we've tried to think of other names. And, we feel like there are better names out there. But at the same time, I think the meaning in Sunday Ave is how young we were and how long it's been that we filled it with meaning.
Yeah.
Would you agree?
I would definitely agree. I think there have been a few transitionary periods where we were kind of questioning, like, do we want to kind of shift like our identity, the way that we shift it to a name maybe that reflects more of the sound, like we tend to have like more of a moody kind of sound, and Sunday Ave kind of sounds like a Christian rock band, that kind of thing.
There is actually a Christian rock band called
is.
Sunday Avenue.
Yep.
Avenue.
Bunch of Australians who I'm sure make great music. I've never really listened to their stuff. But I think each time we went and brainstormed, like we came up with a lot of names, and there were a lot of names that I liked, but they all felt like they would be names that I would picked if I would have picked if I had never been in a band before.
Yeah.
But this band just it is Sunday Ave. It'll never not be Sunday Ave.
Yeah.
So that's just the way it stayed.
That's awesome. I think that's like I don't have many friends that are in bands anymore, but I've been in a couple of bands, and like picking a name is always the most like tedious part of it all. And that's such a simple way to do it. And if you find something that's good, then you stick with it, and then you build your own like attachment and brand off of it instead of spending days trying to figure out a name for your band.
Well, yeah, it's the first thing that you hear before the music, 9 times out of 10, and usually you want to completely embody a message or whatever your music is. And then I think there are other scenarios where the music fills the band name, and I think that's kind of what happened because we came up with our band name before we even wrote any songs. So we just started out doing covers, and it evolved from there.
Yeah, that's awesome. Cool.
And for anybody like thinking about, what would be a good band name, I would definitely say like if you stick in that group long enough, you're going to reach a point where you feel like it's not the perfect name.
Mm-hmm.
Like, especially if you actually evolve, which every artist should. Over time, you should evolve.
Yeah.
You're going to reach a point where you're like, oh, that was a different period of my life, but I'm still called that, you know?
Yeah, of course. Cool. Sorry, I'm trying not to be awkward. I'm not used to talking with people
You're
on my
so
show.
awkward, it's making me feel weird.
I'm sorry. I usually do my show by myself, so it's a little awkward to have people on air with me, but I'm super excited that it's you.
No, you're doing a great job.
What do you usually talk about in between? Just kind of the music that you're playing, or?
Well, right before you guys got here, I was talking about D&D.
Okay.
So, because me and Colin and DJ Blue all play D&D together, and Papa J. I don't know if you guys remember Papa J.
Probably recognize
from last
yeah,
year.
maybe.
But we all play D&D together.
We did a little campaign once upon a time. I don't think we finished it, but we and a few friends, there were like 12 of us. And
gosh.
Just one of our friends was running the thing, and we did it at a pool table with just like Doritos and like fake swords like strewn out across the place. And we got a good like three times in. And
3 sessions.
I'm a big Skyrim, and we're both into the Lord of the Rings.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
you know, we had the patience for a little bit, but I don't know why it fizzled out, but I totally respect D&D.
Yeah.
Creativity is
You
very high in that.
You gotta have a good DM. That makes or breaks it. Like, Colin's our DM, and we did a very short campaign last year that we didn't end up finishing, but we have been playing since like September, and we're almost done with the first part of the campaign now, and so much has happened. It's crazy. It's been a crazy experience, and I'd never played before. I met him, so it's a fun thing to do.
Yeah.
But that's what I was talking about. I'm also a huge Skyrim fan. It's my favorite video game. I have like 1,600 hours in it.
I'm probably close too, yeah.
Over the course of like 3 or 4 years, I think I've put like probably 1,600 or 1,700 hours into that game, which is insane.
Yeah, that's the amount of time where you start realizing that the Empire is morally superior to the Stormcloaks.
Yes!
Even though you're engineered to think that they're better.
Absolutely.
Well, this is where my part of the conversation.
If you ever played it seriously though, like I think you would appreciate it a lot. But it's it's a video game. It takes a lot of time. There are more practical things to be doing for sure.
Yes, like writing music.
Correct.
That's true.
Going into writing music, what made you guys want to start making music?
Ooh, I mean, I started writing songs when I was maybe 11 or 12. Aiden and I actually started doing it together. We have a few classics that came from like the 4th or 5th grade. And then, I just love songwriting. My uncle's a songwriter. I just got very attached to other songwriters as I was growing up and everything.
Yeah.
So that's really it. Just the love of like making songs and then realizing you can turn it into things that are bigger than yourself, and you can also use it to channel certain things that maybe are stuck inside of you, if that makes any sense, and it helps you work through things.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of different point of views to look at it from that I really love.
That's awesome.
I don't know what you would say. I mean,
I've always been I'd say a musician first before a songwriter. I've written some songs, and I enjoy songwriting, and I think it's something that I want to get better at in the future. But I've had the good fortune of working with Warren, which is really an environment where it's like we have literally hundreds, if not thousands, of songs lined up that I have the privilege of picking through and finding stuff that I feel like is like that connects with me. So I would definitely say that as far as just making music in general, that's been an instinct to me since kind of day one, ever since I started playing drums when I was like 5.
Yeah.
So I think for both of us, there was never a moment where we were kind of like, we're gonna make music together. It kind of just happened, and it like even before we actually started playing music together, we would talk about it quite often, and it was just kind of an intrinsic thing that didn't even need a spark. It just happened.
That's awesome. It's like I'm also a musician, but I can't write songs. at all. I can play them, I can sing, I can read sheet music, I play piano, bass. I was first chair clarinet for 3 or 4 years out of high school.
First chair.
Yeah, I wasn't very. It was a really low bar, but like I'm not very like. I've always wanted to be able to write songs, but I just can't. My brain just doesn't work that way. But you guys are. It's like all of the lyrics of your songs are like. They feel very deep and they're really awesome. I just love your music so much.
Thank you.
And that's ow. I'm trying not to be so awkward, but
No, you got this.
all right. I think this calls for a PSA break, and then I think we're gonna play some. I'm gonna play some songs. Are there any songs you guys would specifically want me to play?
By us?
Yes.
Not really. I don't know.
Honestly, all the stuff that I'm excited for people to hear, we're going to be playing live tomorrow night because it's not out yet. So I would definitely say I want to hear what you think stands out of our stuff.
Okay, I can do that. All right. So here's a quick couple PSAs because it's the top of the hour, and then we're gonna hear some songs. I haven't decided which songs they are yet, but we're gonna hear them. So here's some PSAs.
Let's face it, life looks a little different. During these times, we're doing our best to keep our minds and bodies strong. And getting a flu shot helps us stay healthy, so we don't miss out on what matters. Like having game night at home. Yeah, can't do that while sick with the flu. Now imagine family movie night that your daughter can't live without. Well, that's ruined. And don't forget your uncle's socially distanced cookout. See? That's why it's important to be at our strongest. Every year, millions of people in the U.S. get the flu. Especially now, no one has time to miss out on moments that matter. So get your flu shot. Find out more at getmyflushot.org. Brought to you by the AMA, CDC, and the Ad Council.
Wake up and text. Text and eat. Text and catch the bus. Text and miss your stop.
Wait.
Text and be late to work.
Sorry, I'm late.
Text and work. Text and pretend to work. Text and act surprised when someone calls you out for not working.
Who, me?
Text and meet up with a friend you haven't seen in forever.
Hi.
Oh, hey.
Text and complain that they're on their phone the whole time. Text and listen to them complain that you're on your phone the whole time. Text and whatever. But when you get behind the wheel, give your phone to a passenger. Put it in the glove box. Just don't text and drive. Visit StopTextsStopWrecks.org. A public service announcement brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Go, I've gotta get off of this track. She smiles as she whispers, she knows that I'm not coming back. I've gotta see straight, I've gotta get down on the brake. You're the switch to my plate and you know it's too late to dig in. As hungry as you are, you'll find me and put my head back on my body. As thirsty as I am, I'm waiting to find out what it is we're chasing. I've gotta get out of my bed. There's a hole in the wall and my lover lies next to me dead. She's only a fake and I promise it's all in your head. You were writing a story and killed when you ran out of breath. As precious as she was, she's gone now. And Jesus has another heart now. As charming as I am lonely to write the story I belong in. You know the rules of the game. You know it all goes to say that I'm not a person today. Hey, you know his thoughts and his ways, and evil can come in its shapes. But it's not a person today, and I've started to wither away. It's not enough to say you love me too. I'm on the cusp of losing both of you. Something more than sits inside my brain. Sure, it sips on all the pain. You say you love down to take what I am owed. Claw my way till my face is shown. Say you love me and you need me by your side. Oh, my feelings will ripple and subside. Darkest delay, I'll be darkest delay, I'll be looking for a way to chamber in the bushes where all things seem to swell. Stop, it'll catch you looking. Go and you'll break the spell. It's landing at the bottom. Bottom of the well. Jump and you'll find the answer. Wishing it's just the well. If I would've let them see me, if they would've laid me down, know that I've been in the water, know that I've almost drowned. As quiet as the night fell, I held you in my arms. Sleep and we'll drift together into the great beyond. Sleep
conversation continue.
Hello, hello. This is DJ Stone with the Junk Drawer. You're listening to the Junk Drawer on 91.3 WKNH Keene, Keene State College, a student-run radio station. I'm here with Sunday Ave, Aiden and Warren.
Yo, yo, yo.
Howdy do.
So let's get into the one question that I have, that was like the first question when I was writing these down. I was like, I need to know the answer to this. Darkest Lake was the second song that I played there. Oh yeah, the songs that I played were Hole in the Wall, Darkest Lake, and Chamber in the Bushes, and those are all on Chaos One by Sunday Ave. And Darkest Lake is like my favorite song right now. What is Darkest Lake about?
Okay, I mean, we were just talking about some of the other song meanings and
Yes.
how hard that is to explain. So, Aiden, feel free to jump in whenever you want
Yes.
to, because I'm going to try to explain it in a way that is simple.
Mm-hmm.
But
Go for it. And like, don't feel pressured to be like, just kind of say what there is to about it, and then we'll go from there.
yeah, it's hard because, like I said, I usually start with a line
Mm-hmm.
that is true. And I would say the first line of that song was true for how I was feeling. It's not enough to say you love me too. Also, I wrote the majority of these songs like 2 years ago now, so it's like been a while. But like, I would say that just comes from a general feeling of like in any social like setting where your ego kind of comes in and wants to make it about you, and you feel kind of like left behind in certain situations.
Yeah.
So I would say I was feeling a pretty big like case of that when I sat down and was trying to channel this idea. And then similar to the way that maybe you or most people listen to music, when they hear a song that they didn't write, they start having some images come into their heads about what the song is saying. And I think I write like that. Like I just kind of follow it. So I'm kind of like submerged in this feeling of like just, you know what, it feels good to feel sad sometimes.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I know.
Kind of that vibe. Like, all right, I'm not feeling it, but like this is kind of where I want to be right now. And I think that just put this image of a lake in my head. And I've always had this thing for lakes. Aiden lives on the lake. There's a place where I vacation, which is technically it's a small pond or a big pond, but it could be a small lake.
Yeah. Is it in New Hampshire?
No, it's in Maine.
Oh, okay.
But
I'm from Lakes Region, New Hampshire, so like I'm from
nice, like Wiccapisaki.
I'm from Rochester, so I'm like less than 40 minutes from Winnipesaukee. I work on Milton Three Ponds, like all that fun jazz. I just was curious.
Yeah.
Because, I'm from, like, up there. I live 15 minutes from Lebanon, Maine, so all kinds of fun stuff. Anyways, continue.
It's like
I'm
wicked
sorry.
northern Maine.
Yeah.
But anyways, so yeah, I think that's just the place that it led me. And you're just following everything. So the guitar riff was there, too. And I think that felt like this environment that I've been very connected to for a long time.
Yeah.
And I just kind of follow it.
From there.
And that's
the
best
awesome.
way I could probably put it.
I'd love to hear that. Cool. I gotta get my questions back out.
All
I didn't
right.
think I put my phone away. I texted DJ Blue to see if he would do the op log for me. I hope he's listening. Sorry. But that is wonderful. I love that.
Like you were saying, it really connects with you. What would you?
Oh.
What do you think it's about? What do you feel when you?
So I gotta look at the lyrics. Hang on, let me pull it up.
Do a deep dive.
I can't
Let's do deep dives.
Like I was saying that I know like all the words and everything, and now I'm like, I can't think of them off the top of my head. But I gotta look at them.
Yeah, we actually brought a pop quiz with us.
Oh no. I don't like. I think. See, I had the same issue when Chris asked me. He was like, "Why? Like, why does it make you feel? Like, why do you like it so much? Like, why does it make you feel the way it makes you feel?" And I was like, "I don't know. Like, there's just something. It's so many things. It's like, it's the words. It's the way that the song sounds. It's the way that your voice sounds in the song. But also at the same time, I kind of relate it to like a lot of, like." like trauma and pain that I have in the past, like the thing that hooked me with the first line, it's not enough to say you love me too, that is like, I'm a big believer in the like, yeah, you can be in a relationship, yeah, you can love someone, but love is not enough to keep you in something if everything else is wrong.
Right.
And like coming from being in a relationship where that was it, like everything sucked, but it was like, oh, love, no.
Mm-hmm.
But that like really kind of drew me in, and then just the like you were saying, like the kind of like feeling where it's like you're sad, but like sometimes it's a little like it's like almost like masochistic in a way, but like it feels good to feel sad sometimes.
Absolutely.
I went through that yesterday. Like sometimes it's like sometimes you just need to feel it, and it sucks, but then you come out of it on the other end being like, I needed that. You know,
Right.
like sometimes you need a good cry. Sometimes you just need to scream into a pillow or sleep on the floor in your office. Like everything kind of,
Yeah,
all
And
that.
I don't think that's masochistic at all. I would say that, I mean, we're both enormous Radiohead fans. We both, I mean, A Moon-Shaped Pool is probably top 10 like most influential albums on us, I would say. Not maybe as far as our sound, but just as far as like this energy.
Yeah.
Like this is so completely what it is that we want to shoot for something equivalently singular like this. And I would say that stuff hurts, you know, like it really, it can be uncomfortable sometimes. And I think that's even more true when it's, you know, your music, where you make something that makes you uncomfortable. That's definitely become more of the case with the stuff we've written since the album. It's a lot more blue, if you will. But yeah, I think one of the goals, or I guess really just one of the themes that kind of maybe happened by accident or just by way of the structure of how we built the songs, the songs tend to be more locations than they are stories. Like each song is more of a place. We actually drew a map once of like where each song would take place, like literally a map, like a J.R.R. Tolkien kind of.
That's awesome.
And yeah, like this album definitely felt like a place where all the songs happened within like a place. And you know, I don't know how well we would be able to like actually string it together into a compelling narrative, but that's what made it feel like a cohesive thing to us.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And not to like continue the tangent too much, but like just going back to that thing where when I first got into Radiohead, it was about the same time that, you know, you and I and all of our friends really got into Radiohead. It was like you're 14 or 15 and there's just
sucked.
But there's something about that.
You what? Did you
You
say
see a lot to swear?
sucks?
I think I just cursed, and I'm looking at the profanity log right now.
Oh, did you say sucks?
I said the S word.
Oh, okay.
My bad.
But
That's all right. I'll
sorry.
This is
I'll
all-
follow
Sorry,
it up
young
city
viewers.
log.
I don't even know what to say now. I feel like
That's
I
okay.
feel like the whole thing's ruined.
yeah.
That's okay.
No, but anyways,
It's not.
just
Don't worry about it. I did it 2 weeks ago, so don't worry about it.
Okay.
just
yeah.
I was just saying, being 15, whatever.
Yeah. No, I get it. 15. Looking back at 15-year-old me, you're fine. It happens. It's not that big of a deal. Trust me. Like looking back at me when I was 15, like I was what grade was I when I was 15? Like
Sophomore
8th grade.
year? Oh.
8th grade. I'm only 20, so.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
But I think I was in like 8th grade, freshman year. I don't know. I was like wicked emo at that point in my life, and I'm like, I look back at it and I think of all the music and whatnot that I listened to then, and think about how it shaped me into the person I am now. And I certainly listen to a lot of different music now, but like that kind of like, you know, I wasn't full blown emo like into the whole culture and everything like that, but it was like the music, you know, I was a big My Chemical Romance Fall Out Boy, like certainly not listening to bands like Radiohead, but like I still listen to Fall Out Boy. I love Fall Out Boy and like that kind of stuff, but like now I think I've definitely matured in my like emo music where I listen to a lot of like 90s grunge and that kind of stuff. That's where most of my like style and personality comes from, is that kind of music. So I get it.
Yeah.
I feel the vibe. I don't know what I'm saying.
No, everybody has to
true.
find something that hurts in a good way.
Yep.
You know?
Absolutely. Speaking of like influential stuff, what are like your biggest influences in making music, like bands, artists, any of that kind of stuff in your music?
We both have different answers for sure.
We have different answers, and I'm also going to preface it by saying sometimes we're afraid to say the real answers.
Yeah, never be ashamed of what touches you, because through touching you, you can touch a lot of people by, in a metaphorical way. With your music, you can find inspiration in anything. So there's no such thing as cringe.
Yeah,
absolutely.
That
DJ
being
Blue
said,
would
go ahead,
differ,
Warren.
but
I would say specifically with this album that influenced me to write the songs the way I did was Coldplay.
all right.
Specifically the Viva La Vida era.
Okay.
U2, probably the War era.
Okay.
And 21 Pilots.
Nice.
Trench
All right.
is our favorite album by them. So those would be the big ones for me, I think. And then Radiohead's always there, and a bunch of others. But
yeah. Trench is my favorite 21 Pilots album as well.
All right. Good.
Yeah, especially for this album, I would say those three, Viva, Trench, and War, were all like, I would say Viva and War definitely cultivated the kind of vibe we wanted to go for. We were dressing in like older kind of ragged outfits, definitely pursuing more of like a concept kind of feel, which we definitely got out of that. And Trench is just one of the best produced albums I've ever heard in my life, and that was such a huge influence on the way that it doesn't sound like Trench, but the way that we went about trying to just make it feel visceral as an experience. But for me, just as far as like what really had me staying inspired, I tend to listen to music that doesn't necessarily sound like what we play. But there is an album that I encourage anybody who ever hears me say this, because I have said it many times and I will again. Anybody who hasn't heard of these guys or heard this album, please go listen to it, and listen to it a few times. There's an album called Teeth, Glory, and Injury by a band called Altar of Plagues.
Okay.
And it is just the blackest thing you could possibly listen to. It's very devastating music, and it probably sounds very frightening to people. But to me, when you were talking about music that hurts in a way that you cherish it, because like it's like, oh man, I'm feeling something right now.
Yeah.
That is that to me. And I think that was probably, especially going into the production realm of things, there were several songs on that were direct production influences on the way that we added things to songs like Thread and Hole in the Wall especially too. Very atmospheric kind of elements that just bring the music to life.
Yeah, for sure. I've been listening to Chaos One and Joji's new album like back and forth, because they kind of give us.
It's Filthy Frank.
Oh, okay.
Yes, he is. He used to be Filthy Frank, and now he's Joji, and makes like Slow Dancing in the Dark is his like big song, and Glimpse of Us. But his new album Smithereens is like the most heart-wrenching, devastating album I've ever listened to. And I've been listening to that back and forth with Chaos One for like 2 months. Not 2 months. When did Smithereens come out? Like over a month. And like there's a song on that album called Die For You, and the feeling I get when I listen to that song is the same feeling I get when I listen to Darkest Lake, and it's just kind of like I played both of them on one of my shows once, and both times, like when Die For You came on, I laid on the floor and just was like, it's like almost like an ethereal like you feel like you're floating. That's that's the only way that I can describe it, is like you feel like you're floating. I did that with Die For You and with Darkest Lake, because I was just like, these songs are, they like, I can't ever put words to the feeling that I get when I listen to those songs, but like specifically Darkest Lake, it just kind of makes me feel like, I don't want to say floating. I was talking to DJ Blue about this yesterday, about like the feeling you get sometimes when you listen to music and you kind of feel like you're falling backwards off a cliff. You're just kind of like in space and you don't really know when it's going to end or if it will ever end, but like it's that feeling of just like being in space kind of and just existing. And that's kind of it's a very specific feeling that I'm describing, but like I hope you guys kind of get the vibe of what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's
like you're really present but somewhere else.
Yes, exactly.
And if you're making music, I think one of the things that's going to determine whether you connect with people is if you can find those really specific feelings that are going to connect with individual people, because you can make stuff that feels good and it'll like people like a large amount of people will be willing to turn it on and kind of snap their fingers or whatever. But in order to make someone lie down on the floor and feel like they kind of disappear for a little bit, that requires an extra element of honesty, I would say.
Absolutely.
That, I don't know, personally, as a songwriter, I've never achieved. Yeah, I think it's super important, and it requires a lot of openness that anybody can do, but I think it takes a lot of, not even focus is really the right word, but just you have to let go.
Absolutely. Cool. I'm still like geeking out. Just a little reminder, you're listening to The Junk Drawer on 91.3 WKNH Keene, Keene State College student-run radio station. I am DJ Stone, and I'm here with Sunday Ave, Warren, and Aiden. And we're just talking about their music and them and the process and all of that is being a band. They're going to be here again tomorrow for an awesome concert that has a less awesome name. I never came up with a name for the event, so it's just WKNH Presents Bloomsday and Sunday Ave. But they're going to be here tomorrow. Doors open at 6:30. Concert starts at 7, and it's going to be a blast. It's free. Bring your friends. Bring your mom. Bring your dad. Bring your grandmother.
Bring your
coat. Cat. Bring your coat. Yes, please. Be warm. I was gonna say bring your cat, but
yeah, maybe not your grandma.
Maybe not your grandma, actually. Maybe
we don't want any grannies frozen out in the parking lot.
Yes, be super careful. I'm like fingers crossed that I can that like praying to everything that the event is gonna happen. I'm gonna be there, so even if I'm the only person there,
we'll have a blast.
Yes. So I have a question that doesn't have to do with music. What are some things that you guys do outside of music? Like we were talking about video games a little bit, like you guys go to school, like what do you guys do outside of being Sunday Ave?
Not much.
We like to read.
Read?
Yeah. It's really embarrassing. Next question.
That's not embarrassing. I like to read too. So
I feel like you do actually more interesting things than I would.
Maybe.
Outside.
Well, it depends on what you call interesting. I mean, Warren actually...
If it's interesting to you, that's what's important. It's something interesting to you.
Warren can actually hold a relationship with a significant other, so I think that's pretty cool.
I spend a lot of time with my girlfriend, who I love.
Yeah.
I know that vibe. My boyfriend is sitting out on the couch right now.
But yeah, we both love reading. I definitely... kind of just more recently as I became an adult, decided that I really wanted to dive into, kind of like you were saying, some medium that brings me to a different place just through the power of symbols that are stamped on a piece of paper. That blows my mind that that's possible. We're both big Stephen King fans.
Me too.
Which, I mean... Yeah, just unbelievable. We just this year kind of swapped The Stand and It. I had already read The Stand. He had already read It.
I haven't done The Stand yet, though. But
it's all good. He's busy in college.
Yeah.
It's a hefty book.
It is.
Yeah.
I remember in 8th grade, my English teacher read the whole book in like less than 2 months. I was impressed.
Really?
But he's an English teacher, so like it probably made a little bit of sense. But favorite Stephen King books.
I've read more than one because you've only read it, right?
I've read it, and I've read this
terrible
Stephen King book that. What was I forget what it was called?
Elevation,
yeah,
which does not reflect his high points at all.
Yeah, my girlfriend actually gave it to me to read, and she was like, "This is a bad book," and I read it, and and it was.
But yeah, I've read him somewhat extensively, and I would say that The Stand stands as my favorite Stephen King book as thus far, but I would say that there's elements of other books that really knocked my socks off. Like Jax, the main character in The Shining, his just degeneration throughout the book, it is not like the movie. He is such an involved dad and husband who loses himself to alcoholism, and like that is so much more of a horror story than the actual supernatural stuff going on in the book.
Yeah.
That I think that's something that Stephen King gets snubbed on a lot, is that he is somebody who knows people deeply. And people think of him as like, ooh, ghosts and whatnot. But it's like, no, bro. He understands something about the human element, both in terms of, like just our thought processes, but also the ways that weaknesses exist even within the strongest characters. There are no Mary Sues in Stephen King books. There are complicated, conflicted characters. So, I definitely highly suggest any of his... if you look up best Stephen King books, pick any of the top 5 and go crazy.
What about you? What's your favorite?
I really like Misery.
Oh yeah.
I've only seen the movie.
It's horrifying. It's a horrifying story. I've seen the movie. I think I read most of the book. I'm dyslexic, so I have a hard time reading, and Stephen King is really challenging. So I go through like spurts of like reading Stephen King. I have one of his collections of short stories right now in my room actually, and I'm trying to remember what it is. The Night Shift.
Yep.
Which I don't know if you guys know this, but Stephen King lives in Maine, and you can go see his house, and it's very cool. But one of the stories in The Night Shift takes place in a factory that's in Somersworth, New Hampshire, where my parents grew up, and is like 10 minutes from my house, and my grandparents and the entire town of Somersworth worked in that factory at least once in that. Somersworth used to be a huge like factory mill town, and I think it's a vampire story, but it takes place in that factory, which is really cool.
As a New Englander, I think that's part of the thing. The way that I get drawn to Stephen King is that if you're talking about Derry, Maine, we live right next to Derry, New Hampshire, and it's the exact same thing.
Yeah.
It feels exactly the same. And obviously they're New Hampshire will get brought up every once in a while. If he says Concord, I'm just like, let's go. There's a lot of pride in that.
Yeah.
My day just improved.
But I think also New Hampshire just doesn't get the limelight, I think, just for being such a hardy little corner of the country.
Yep.
And it's so old and full of inspiring stuff, especially in the architecture. And
absolutely.
It's the bomb.
Going back to the original question, we love to go outside. I mean, in the summertime, we try to do mountains and stuff. So that's another big thing that we like to do.
Nice.
Yeah, we do Mount Lafayette pretty much every year.
Nice. Have you guys done Mount Major?
I feel like I have at some point.
That's a tough hike. I did it once.
How long did it take you? Was it like an all-day thing?
It was an all-day thing because it was me and my brother and my dad and our old dog at the time.
Gotcha.
And my brother and I were in like middle school. And like I was in like 7th or 8th grade, and my brother was like in elementary school. And impatient children, or like whiny kids and an impatient dad makes for a long day. But I'd say it probably took all day. There are like different paths that are longer or shorter, more difficult, less difficult. But it's a hefty hike. It probably like if you're an experienced hiker, probably like a half a day.
Mm-hmm.
But if not, then probably more than that.
Yeah, we'll have to do that one.
It's a beautiful view at the top as well. It's
Yeah.
super windy. It's really tall, so it's very windy up there. It's definitely a summer mountain for sure. But yeah, I work at a campground over the summer usually, so I spend a lot of time outside, and I just love being outside, and so I relate on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, nature is probably the source of most inspiration. You know,
That's awesome.
lakes and whatnot, and
Yeah.
how dark they tend to get.
In New Hampshire, anyways, they do.
Yeah, but yeah, definitely, I would say a lot of the inspiration that I've gotten has been from where I grew up on Lake Massabesic in Auburn, New Hampshire, where we just have trails behind my house. So like I would take a hour-long walk pretty much every single day, always with music, just filling my head with some nonsense, some really intense stuff, and then sometimes it would just be like Fleet Foxes, and,
Yes,
like,
my
just-
mom loves Fleet Foxes.
Oh, yeah,
Foxes
that's
are
another big one.
brilliant.
Fleet Foxes. I think that's been a newer influence for us. So maybe that'll come through on some of the newer music. But
Absolutely.
yeah, that's another huge one.
They're a great group. Very low key and just like good to just relax.
great songwriting.
Yep.
Yeah.
They're great.
Well, yeah, it's gentle a lot of the time, but it's also like jarring.
Yep.
The depth of he's on a different level. Robin Pecknold with his just lyrical brilliance. My favorite lines of all time, probably out of songs, like top 3 were all written by him.
That's awesome. That's so cool. You guys are so cool. I'm so I'm so excited to like be able to talk to you guys about like your music and that kind of what goes into it, or just kind of like just generally talking to you guys, because like as I've said on and off air, you guys are like my number one listen to artist right now, and I've been a huge fan since last year, pretty much since I met Chris. He was like, you got to listen to these guys.
Chris
and I was
is our
like,
number one plug.
Yes.
we love Chris.
Nobody competes.
Chris is awesome. He was very bummed that he wasn't able to listen to my show, so I'm actually recording it on DJ Blue's Mac over there,
awesome.
so that he can listen to it. But yeah, we still have a little bit of time. I'm not kicking you guys out just yet. But yeah, where do you guys go to school?
I go to Southern New Hampshire University.
Nice.
I go to Franklin Pierce. I live on campus.
Nice. That's awesome. I have a family friend that goes to Franklin Pierce.
Oh, what's the name?
His name is Brogan.
Brogan.
Yeah.
I will have to keep an eye out for Brogans.
He
Any Brogans?
he's a big sports guy.
Gotcha. Everybody's a big sports guy at Franklin Pierce.
I got accepted to Franklin Pierce, but they wanted to charge me a lot of money to go there, and I was not in a place for that. So I ended up here, and I could not be happier.
This is super nice.
I love it here.
Yeah.
I remember I did a tour. This was like, I applied for 3 schools. I applied for UNH, Franklin Pierce, and Plymouth. And I was like, I'm going to go to Plymouth, so I don't even care about applying for other schools. And my mom was like, you should probably apply to some other schools just in case. And I'm glad I did, because I didn't get accepted into UNH. So, but I was like, I'm going to go to Plymouth, whatever. I almost paid my deposit. My parents were like, let's just go do a tour of Keene, because I got accepted. And I was like, fine, whatever. We came, we did the tour. I talked to people, and I was like, I paid my deposit that day. I was like, going to Keene State.
Yeah.
And now I'm here, and I love it. I've made some like lifelong relationships here. Like my boyfriend and I, we're literally moving in together like next week.
That's super exciting.
Congratulations.
I'm very excited about that. I met DJ Blue, who's like my best friend, and we've just been, I've met so many great people here, and I get to do this. I get to do radio, and it's so fun. It's so exciting. And I'm very lucky to be in a place, and I'm just far enough away from home where my parents don't just randomly come visit me. Well, I live like almost 2.5 hours away from here.
Okay.
So it's,
Yeah, you're safe.
yes. I think my parents are listening, but they know how I feel about it. But I did have one last question for you guys in the last 15 minutes. What's next for Sunday Ave? I know you guys
Absolutely nothing. Tomorrow night is the finale. And
Okay.
then we quit.
It all ends tomorrow.
I think DJ Blue referred to it as a casualty, but I know you guys are down a member. So like,
Yes, we are.
what do you like? What does that look like for the future for you guys?
I think that starts with a show.
Yeah.
And we've been preparing for that. We're really excited about it.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I think once we're able to play our first show, that means we should be good to go for a second one.
That's
and
awesome.
I think throughout the summer, just playing as
Mhm.
much as we can and writing as much as we can
Mm-hmm.
is really just the next step. I'd like to just look at it as a ladder kind of thing,
Mhm.
you know? So, yeah, I think we just want to get into the groove of things
Mm-hmm.
and really find out who we are.
Yeah.
and that's all I'm thinking about. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, David, who was our bassist,
Mhm.
songwriter, amazing singer,
Yeah.
amazing artist, is now doing his own thing, and
Mhm.
we have stayed very close with him, and we've
Yeah.
gotten to pop into some of his studio sessions and hear what he's working on,
Mm.
and we could not be more excited for what he's doing.
That's awesome.
And it's also very different from what he was doing with us. So I think now we're taking this opportunity to also diverge and kind of move forward, not do like a Chaos 1 Part 2.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, like you said, it all starts with one show, one appearance where we kind of establish not a new identity, but a new just way of doing things, because it's just
Yeah.
two guys as opposed to three, which is a huge difference. Like 3 to 4 is not that big of a change, but 3 to 2 is
Yeah.
a huge drop. So it's taken a lot of work and effort to get us ready for this, and we're super excited to see how it goes. We have no worries really about whether or not we're going to succeed at it, but we're definitely curious as to how it's going to look, because
Yeah.
that's up in the air.
I'm so excited that you guys are playing tomorrow. Like, I remember sending you guys the email, and then I think like the next day you made the post about David leaving on Instagram.
Yeah,
And
Yeah, that was just bad timing.
it really was. We were
I
like, oh,
I
man,
got
hope
worried.
It's still cool.
I got worried. I was like, "Oh no, are they not gonna come play?" And then we stayed in contact, and you were like, "Yeah, we're good." And I was like, "Awesome! I'm so happy that this is still happening." And like, I'm so glad that you guys are here and are still like willing to play and wanting to, because it's really important. Because like even like big rock bands, like they lose a member and that's it. Like they're out. It's like it's like have you ever seen those videos online when people will like kick the leg off of one of those plastic chairs? It's
all
like
over.
that, and
Yeah.
it just falls over. But it's like it's very I want to say impressive, just because you guys are such a talented group, and yeah, I'm so excited. Like, Warren, I'm gonna geek out a little bit because your voice is insane. Like in the songs, you're like one of the like best like male vocalists that I've ever listened to. Like, genuinely.
Wow, thank you so
Yeah.
much.
And I've also heard you sing live, and you're amazing.
crazy too.
And
Thank
you're
you.
an awesome drummer. Like, my dad's a drummer. I've always like loved drummers. All my close friends I've had lots of close friends that are drummers, but you're like awesome. And like I'm very impressed by you guys every time I see you and listen to your music. And you guys are like, I try not to geek out, but like,
No,
you guys
we appreciate it. I mean, it's not usually our technical abilities that we get praised for. It's a lot more often it's the songwriting and the vibe, and
It's all of it. It's all of it. You guys are just like, it's the songwriting, the vibe, the like your musical ability. Like, you sing amazing. You're an amazing singer. You play guitar, and you play guitar. You play drums. My brain
okay,
is
they
starting
can't
to
see you
leak
pointing.
out the
Yeah.
just for me, just because I'm pointing. But like, just as I don't know. I feel like I keep saying the same thing, but like you guys are just so awesome, and I cannot wait for what is to come next, new music, new anything that you guys do, because you guys are awesome.
Yeah, we're really, really excited. Like, thank you so much for being so welcoming to us here.
Of course.
Everyone here that we've met has just been so nice, and we've made just great connections. So we're really excited.
Yeah.
And then, tomorrow is just going to be a whole new thing. And, we're obviously still playing all Sunday Ave songs, so they're going to sound, hopefully like they do, maybe even better than on the record and everything. And it's just a completely different look now as we go forward to make new music. And I think we're not even sure where we're going yet, really. It's really up to the songs, and our hope is that the songs will now evolve or just change, adapt into a thing that works even better for two people. We're using technology a lot more, and we hope to just like pursue that path and see what happens with it.
Yeah, that's so
we're
awesome.
Excited.
Yeah, it's a good thing to be excited about. Like, this, all good things are to come for you guys, I hope, because you guys deserve all the good things to come towards you, whatever it is.
We joke about that a lot. It's like, did we peak? Like,
yeah, is it over? Hey.
I don't think so. I think
No,
you guys still got a long way to go. As long as you keep, as long as you just keep doing what you're doing, man. Keep making like amazing music that you do. Like, you guys should be like famous. You guys should be like, I don't know. In my mind, I'm like, you guys should be like making like millions of dollars for your music. Like, I think you guys are just awesome.
I'm just gonna.
Well, it kind of costs a poor man's equivalent of $1 million to make music. So
yeah,
I wouldn't mind,
yeah,
just breaking even.
a couple more zeros.
No, it really though. It's just about doing what we love and getting more fans. And I'm so happy to hear that we've connected with you so well.
Yeah.
And I hope that after tomorrow, there's another person, that
me
feels
too.
the same way.
Me too. So we have 11 listeners. I think we had started with 15 and now we have 11 listeners, but
That's not bad at all.
no, I usually only have like 4 listeners. So posting it all over Instagram and all that has definitely been a big bump. I posted on Facebook for all my like family to listen to, and like
that's exactly it. Like, you only compare your growth to yourself.
Yeah.
You usually have 4. There's 11 right now.
Yep.
It's like one person for us, one monthly listener for us on Spotify is huge. So it's like, that's all that matters right now.
Well, I think I'm gonna cut a little short because I ran out of questions. But it's only a couple minutes. So thank you guys so much for being here. It means so much to me. Again, if you're on campus, even if you're not on campus, if you're friends of Sunday Ave, if you're my friends, family, whatever, come to the show. It's going to be fun. Obviously, if you live too far away, don't, because cold, and be safe. But, be here. It's going to be awesome. Come support Sunday Ave, support Bloomsday, support WKNH. Again, doors open at 6:30. Show starts at 7. It's free. It's in the Knock in the Student Center. It's gonna be a blast, and I'm so excited. So thank you again, Warren and Aiden, for being here. I cannot wait for tomorrow. I'm so excited to hear you guys play.
We're excited too. Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you very much.
Of course. All right. I'm gonna end it a little early today, but I hope you all have a fantastic day. I have been DJ Stone. This has been The Junk Drawer. And I have been interviewing Sunday Ave. And I hope y'all have a great rest of your Friday. And stay groovy.